Hey guys, so this video we're going to talk about some of the more common errors I see when people write their syntax, whether it be on the HTML or the CSS side, and just some other errors I see that you could try to fix um, on your websites in case you're running into some issues. Just learn how to troubleshoot, basically. I've been teaching the web design class and now this online CSS class for a couple semesters now. I always see the exact same issues, right? It's the exact same problems that students have. Not because they didn't learn it properly, it's usually just because they're not careful with the details when they're typing things out. So the number one issue is typos. And it could be something as simple as this quote, for example. Sometimes people forget the quotes when they create an ID or a class or an attribute even, right? And that could cause things to break. That broke a lot of things there. Just that one little tiny quote got rid of a lot of things, right? So little typos like that will always come back to bite you. So just pay attention to the details. Sometimes I see people just forget that they misspelled one of their IDs, right? Simple typo, not that they don't know how to spell, it's just, sometimes you're typing quick, it's late at night, you're working on this stuff, or you just didn't pay attention and you misspelled something, things can break. Same thing on the CSS side. Right, I have my container here, I can misspell it here on accident. Now it doesn't match the ID on the HTML side, so again, they don't connect, and in this case it caused our sidebar to break for whatever reason. So just be careful when you're typing is my number one thing. That always is the issue, and it's so funny, every time a student calls me over, they've been staring at their page for hours, staring at all their IDs or all their code, and it's something as simple as a typo, and they're always like, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't see that. Okay. The other thing is your CSS syntax. I see this a lot. Don't forget it starts with the property followed by a colon. The space here is optional after the colon. I like to add a space because it's clearer, it's easier to see. And then the value, okay, followed immediately by the semicolon. Always remember the semicolon. Okay, together all these make up a declaration. A group of declarations is a declaration block. Okay, don't forget that. And the declaration block is always surrounded by the closing brackets at the end and the opening brackets at the beginning. Okay, so that's your basic syntax for CSS, and then your selector, of course, can be a number of different things. It can be an element, like it's called out here, just the body. It could be an ID with the pound sign and then the name of the ID. It could be like it is here. It could be a class that starts with a period followed by the name of the class. So just be careful when you're typing things. That's my number one piece of advice that I could give you. Other common issues, I saw this one recently, was somebody forgot to add the asterisk when they tried to close a comment, and what it does here, see how this changed to green down to this next comment here? Because of that asterisk, it thinks everything after it's still part of the comment. I didn't officially close the comment, so none of that CSS was valid until we fixed the asterisk. Okay, so that reminds me, I could show you here. One thing I haven't taught you guys yet is you can use comments in your HTML as well, either to leave notes for yourself, notes for other people you're going to work with, or variety of reasons you might want to add some comments. This is what an HTML comment looks like. Okay, it starts with the less than sign, and actually there's an exclamation point after that, followed by dash dash, and then a space. Or you don't actually need a space, but then your comment, and then ends with dash dash and a greater than sign. Okay, that makes up an HTML comment. So you can add those in your HTML as wanted, as you want, as needed. You can type anything you want in them, right? I can type in gibberish, or I can type in actual code. That code will not be read by the browser because it's between the comment tags. Okay, so I could create a div, and it does not appear on your site. Okay, so you can type all kinds of stuff in there. You can comment out certain areas of your HTML in case you're testing to see what's breaking. Sometimes it's easy to comment things out just to see if certain things aren't working the way you expect them to. So a good way to troubleshoot things, comment things out one at a time until whatever you expect to see happens, and then you know what part's broken. So that's multiple reasons you can use comments. Okay. Other notable issues I've seen are your links. Okay, some of you guys are having issues with understanding the structure of how files link relative to each other, right? Both in your HTML and your CSS. So here is my index file, right? It's on its own level with other HTML files. I have two folders that are on the same level as these HTML files, right? They're all on the same level. If I look here on my left-hand side, it might be easier to understand. I have my root folder, and then down one level is my CSS and my images folder. And inside of there, there's also the HTML files, right? So here's my CSS folder, my images folder are both one level down. My root folder also has these HTML files which are on the same level as the other two folders. Okay. So when we're calling out files, for example, right here, which some of you guys had issues with, remember the href calls out the location of a file, right? So this says the type of file is a CSS, it's a style sheet. Href gives us the location in this case. And what this reads as is look for the CSS folder relative to where this HTML file is, so relative to where this index file is. Okay, so this index file lives here. So relative to where this index file is, look for the CSS folder, and then inside the CSS folder, this is what you're separating the two files with here, look for main.css. Okay, so if we look at the folder structure, from where this is located, look for an images folder, or a CSS folder. There it is. Okay, inside the CSS folder, grab the main.css file. That's exactly what you just wrote there. Okay, and let's go back. So that's what that reads like. Now, an image, right? So this is the image tag. We're looking for an image. Instead of href, we're looking for a source for the image, which is the same as href. Technically, you're looking for a location. So in this case, you're looking for an images folder, and inside the images folder, you're looking for logo.png, relative to where, from where this HTML file is. So relative from this HTML file, we're looking for images folder, and inside of there, we're looking for logo.png, and there it is. Okay, so that's what that reads like. Now, this images folder is on the same level as my HTML file. So this is why it could just say images here. My CSS, though, is not. I've added this .. in front of the images folder. Okay? Really simple explanation there. If we go back and look at the folder structure, it's because my CSS file lives in a folder one level down in reference to this images folder. So if I just left this as images /header image, and I went to my CSS folder, what I would be telling it is relative to where that CSS file is located, look for images, and then look for this image, header image.jpg. So it would look for a folder called images and then say, well, there is no folder called images, therefore I'm not going to show you anything because it's not going to be able to find it. So the correct answer here would be to add the .. in front of it, which tells it, okay, go up one level first, then look for an images folder, and then inside the images folder, look for that file. Okay, so that .. means go up one level. You can go up multiple levels if you happen to have files that are down multiple levels. You can go .. a few times. Okay, it just depends on where your files are located. You just need to understand relative linking. That's called relative linking. It's relative to where the file is located. Okay. Let the video catch up here a little bit. Just showing you where that header image is, right? One level up. And here's my example. So if you had multiple levels, you would just add .. added one extra slash there. Okay, this would say it's go up 3 levels, then look for an images folder. So if this CSS file was located 3 levels down for some reason, in reference to the images folder, this is what you would add in front of it. Okay, but it's not, so we'll go ahead and set this back to normal. Alright, so again, just some of the main things I see as far as issues go with people's files, why they can't get things to work. So hopefully it takes some of the mystery out of some of your issues, and if you have some other issues, feel free to send me an email or message me in the forums. Alright, on to the next video.